I want to turn this into the ultimate overland off-road build edition, but on a budget, and basically with zero fabrication skills. Now I know what you're thinking, it's a Subaru Forester, all the engines are glass, they all leak oil, blah, blah, blah. These things are actually kind of slept on. You have symmetrical all-wheel drive, these rear seats can fold all the way down, and they lay completely flat, so you can get a bunch of cargo in here if you needed to take it with you on a trail. So instead of keeping this thing a daily driver, I'm thinking it needs to be off-road capable, have plenty of storage in the back, and just an all-around go-anywhere setup. The only problem is that this one is kind of been a pile. Now I picked this 09 Forester up for $300, and on paper that sounds solid, but once I got it home, yeah, we got problems. Weird noises, worn suspension, questionable smells, engine oil leaks, transmission slipping, exhaust leaks, you name it, this car had it. And since now I have tackled all the engine oil leaks, the main concerns, and the suspension issues, now we can get on to the fun stuff. Now the goal with this build is simple. It needs to be a capable off-roader, but at the fraction of the cost, because some of the premium Overland Edition vehicles can be upwards of $50, $60, even $100,000. And I don't have that kind of money. And currently, with the purchase price of the car and the current repairs that I've already done, we're into it for about $1,500. So I'd like to maintain a shoestring budget, so we don't really have to go much over that. So I need to build a custom bumper that can support these lights and maybe a winch. We have upgraded suspension with some lifting blocks and some subframe lifts, a solar generator for my pack out, and some new shoes. So let's start by ripping into this thing with probably the most important thing when off-roading, and that is ground clearance. We're gonna start by putting in the suspension and lift blocks. And currently the ride height in the rear is like 3.5 inches, and the ride height in the front is between 3.5 and 4 inches as well. Now that I got all these wheels off, step one is gonna be to remove all of these shocks. Now with these old shocks out of the car, you can see just how crusty these things actually are. The front struts actually appear to be seeping just a little bit. A bunch of rust deposits on this one. Same thing with the rears, all rusty. And the mounting bushings on the rear ones are completely shot on the bottom as well. And thankfully, that's where having these new MaXpeedingRods coilovers are going to take up the slack from these old worn out shock absorbers. Now the tricky part in all this is we're going to have to match up these new shocks to the original shocks in terms of height, because we are going to use a 2-inch spacer kit on the top of the shocks as well. All right, and now that I got these things pretty much lined up perfectly, we got to put these lift spacers on. Now this is actually indicated with a little notch right here that says left, and this one has an R on it for right, and then we have left and right. So now we can put these spacer kits right on top like so, and we'll torque them down. And then same thing with the rear, blocks go on the top, and on the back there's no direction on which way it should go on, so it should just be a universal fit here. Now this lifting block is all torqued down, ready to go back in, but before we put this back in, we actually have to drop down the subframe in the rear just a hair. Now they included new hardware and these pucks to bring the subframe down, as well as some spacers for the front bracket, which goes right on the mounting points of the subframe. So before we put this in, we're gonna put these brackets in real quick. All right, these spacer pucks are now in. We also had this brake line bracket to extend it another 2 inches, and these rear spacers right up here. Which means now we are clear to put the rear shock in. I am going to set these to soft, because I don't know how easy they're going to be to put in the vehicle. So let's just set this to full soft, because I don't really want a hard suspension going off-road. And just like that, we're in. Now I just gotta tighten everything up on this side. I'll do it on the other side, and then we'll move on to the front. Now all all the bolts are back in, as you can see. But I'm gonna wait to tighten them up until I get the thing on the ground. That way the suspension can push back in, and then I can torque them down so I don't create any unwanted tension in these joints. Now we can move on to the front. Now the plan of attack is to get this thing hanging first. Now I have all the shocks in position the way I want them so far, but we really need to get it on the ground and put the weight on the wheels so we can tighten everything up and then kind of see where the wheels sit. But first, we need to put some wheel spacers on it because I'm pretty sure that these rims and tires aren't going to fit the normal way that we already had it. And hopefully I don't run into any issues using a 1-inch wheel spacer. Well, let's slap them on and we'll get it down, and I'm excited to see how this thing actually looks. Now let's put some wheels on this thing and see how far this alignment's whacked out and see how good this thing looks. There you have it. It's definitely much, much higher right now. Right about a 6-inch gap in the rear now, and we're at like a 6.5-inch gap on the front. So I might actually come down a little bit with the front. And as you can see, we are positive cambered out quite a bit. So I have to do some adjustment on the camber here as well. But since I got it down now, I am gonna tighten up all the bolts. We'll tighten up all the stuff on the top, on both the front and the rear. And then I'll put it back up in the air. I gotta take the wheels off anyways, and we'll see if we can adjust some of that positive camber up in the front end. All right, I have all the rear bolts tight on both sides here, so we're good to go here, and I was able to fix the camber on both the front wheels right here. So this is looking much, much better. I am still gonna have to have it aligned, but I just wanted to make it as good as it could be so far. But now it's time for the bumper build. Now, I've never done something like this before, and I figured I would get the bumper cover off and just use the original support beam and mount this Jeep Cherokee bumper that I had lying around. And I have to give a big shout out to YesWelder for sending me the Cut 65DS Plus here, because this was the plasma cutter that made quick work of cutting this 1/4-inch steel that I had. And after slicing this through a few different pieces, this gave me a couple of brackets I needed to mount right to the support beam on the Subaru. Now I get to swap over to the YesWelder 205 DS Pro, which made quick work of welding this. And once I figured out the placement, I needed to weld in some brackets for my new AUXITO 7-inch Explore off-roading lights that they sent over. So I get these things mounted correctly to the front, so they're gonna be nice and bright. And then it's just channeling all these wires through the actual bumper themselves, through a channel here, and the wiring assembly was concluded, and it makes it very easy to install. And you have an amber daytime running light, and you could have a white daytime running light, whatever option you want to choose. And now it's time just to zap this baby in place. And now with the nitty and gritty done, it is in place, the lights are mounted, and we just gotta do some finishing touches on this thing, and then we're ready to go. Now, it's not perfect. It doesn't really look good from 5 feet away. Hell, it doesn't even look good from 20 feet away. But we have a functional light support with a bumper that's nice and sturdy here. These things really, they don't really line up to the lights anyways, but it was a free bumper off the Jeep that I got. And we have some anchor points here. We can do some winching and some pulling. And last but not least, I decided to take the winch off my trailer and put a little winch on it right here. So we do have a way to pull us. It's not the strongest winch, but it might come in handy if we actually need to use it. And thank God for YesWelder on this plasma cutter and this welder, because this made quick work of all of this. Again, I'm not the expert fabricator, but this should do just fine for what I'm gonna need to do with it here. So let's get this winch mounted quick. We are now all wrapped up with the winch. I got another hook here onto the D-ring, but this bumper is ready to go. Now I get it, this thing is still in eyesore, right? This bumper is off a Jeep Cherokee, and it's seen better days, but now it belongs to a Subaru. Now, if I do end up liking this thing in the future for off-roading, I probably will do a full-on bumper here and get rid of the original bumper support and put a big bumper on the thing that actually mounts perfectly to the vehicle, so it'll be a lot stronger. Now, the lights are routed underneath here through this bumper, and it comes up through the grill, and I got everything coming through this channel for the LED daytime running light lamp. We just have those tied into the daytime running lamps on both the sides here. Fused to the battery, and I gotta hand it to AUXITO. They actually have a relay with the whole harness included with this thing. So all you have to do is route this back into the car, and thankfully we had this nice grommet in the back of the Subaru right here, which brought the wires in underneath here, up through the panel and the console here, and I was able to drill in the switch right here. All right, now that all the dirty stuff is out of the way, I just gotta figure out where to put the portable power station in the back of this thing so it's not jumping all over. Now this is the P280 portable power bank by Aferiy, and it includes a solar charger for when the Subaru breaks down in the middle of nowhere, we can still have a cup of coffee. Now the solar panel is actually in this carrying case, and we can just slap it on the roof if we needed to ever charge this thing. Now this is a 2800 watt power station, and this is not just some little phone charger. This thing can actually power stuff from your house if you needed it to. We can simply power it up here. A light in the front that we can use. On the side here, we have all the outputs. You have 4 of your standard household receptacles here, and a 30 amp receptacle right here. Turn that on right there. Give this a go. You can even brew some coffee right now. But there you have it. It's going to be a great unit to bring off-road because it doesn't make a ton of noise. I don't have to have any gas with the thing, and it will charge all my camera gear on the go, and it's exactly what I'm going to need for this build, and this thing's going to work out great. So thanks to Aferiy for sending this thing to complete this overland build on this series. Now we just got to figure out where to put it. And now that everything is buttoned up, I still need to have it aligned, but I got it pretty good right now. So I think what we should do, we could at least take it in the back 40 and see how it feels with the new tires and the suspension on it, and see if it actually kind of gets through the woods and stuff pretty good. So let's take it for a rip. All right, we're a little low on gas, but that's okay. Now, it already feels a lot stiffer, but I got full range. I'm turning full lock right now. I think there's something a little rubbing. Some trees coming up it. Making some noises. Now the suspension is definitely stiffer. I'm feeling that. Oh yeah, we're grinding there. So we gotta check that. We're grinding. And in the back too. See if we can crawl through the woods here without wrecking something. Oh, trees. Oh, we're making it through. Oh, perfect. A couple of new scratches on it for sure now, but we're in. Suppose we can get out and take a peek and see how cool the thing looks in the back of the woods, right? Oh yeah, this thing's gonna be a ripper. This is sweet. I'm probably rubbing right here, and if not on the mud flap when we're jouncing around. I'm catching this part of the inner fender liner here, so I'll probably have to shave this down and knock it in. Same thing with the front possibly right here. Yeah, this is the driver's side. You can see we're catching right here. We'll have to address that before we get too crazy. But overall, we made it in the woods. This thing might actually turn out to be pretty sweet, so let's buzz back to the shop, peek at where it's rubbing here and figure that out quick. And then probably should get it aligned. And we have our first battle scar from a tree branch. That's gonna be sweet when this thing's just covered in it. Now we're back in the air once again here. You can see right here is where we're rubbing. So what I'm gonna probably do is cut this out of here. I might wanna try to leave this if I can, but if I can cut this out of the way, I don't think I'll have any more problems with that. So I'm gonna pop these wheels off once again, and I'm actually going to fix the TPMS light because thankfully, Autel hooked me up too. They sent me their TPMS tool, which includes sensors. And look at these bad boys. So we'll break those beads down and get these put in. And then we'll program it with the tool quick too. All right, let's give this thing a whirl here. Quick mode, yes. Subaru Forester. We have a 2009. I'll create, keep sensors away. We'll stick this one up in top. Yes, sensor programming. Could it really be just that simple? All right, one ID has been created, okay. but all of the stems are in place now. I did cut this plastic out a little bit and smash this pinch weld in so we don't hit that with the tire anymore. I'm not really too concerned of how this looks. This might actually all come out eventually anyways. If I can kind of maintain it for a little bit, I'm gonna do that. Now back to the Autel TPMS tool. We gotta relearn these procedure here. So starting with the left front. Found it. Now I'm plugged into the OBD and we are writing and we are ID successful. Please proceed with the following steps until OBD is relearned success. Let's fire this bad girl up. No more TPMS light, yay! There you have it, Autel coming in clutch for that one. All right, well there we have it. We are all buttoned up. It's ready to almost hit the trails. I just want to get it aligned quick because I'm thinking I'm a little bit out on the toe on the front and possibly the rear. So I don't want to chew these tires up if I don't have to. But the next video, it will be a durability test on the off-road overland Subaru. Now a huge shout out to Autel, AUXITO, Aferiy generators, MaXpeedingRods, and YesWelder for sending me all the goodies to make this Subaru video possible for you guys. And like I said, stay tuned because we're gonna be putting all of these products to the test. And if anybody's interested in the stuff that I used today, I will leave a link in the description for each and everything below. And they have a plethora of stuff on their websites as well. So take a peek if you're interested in doing something similar to this. Again, this one took a little bit more time than I would have liked it to. And it was a little bit different kind of style to shoot with. But let me know what you guys think, if this is a kind of a cool idea or a cool build to do it. And this is all geared to be budget-friendly stuff. But we'll stop it there. Stay tuned. We will catch you in the next video.